Welcome everyone to the Tom and Will FPL show. My name is Will, and as you can see this week I am riding solo. Poor Tom is away with work. We tried to squeeze it in, but alas, he was too busy. So it's just me. But on today's show, we're going to make it short and sharp, and I'm going to go through all of Game Week 5's fixtures, our points, and how we got on. And we're looking forward to tomorrow's full fixture list, Game Week 6. And as you can see in the thumbnail, do we triple captain Haaland against Burnley? Surely it might be a good way to go. We'll also have a quick look at the Defcon team that Tom put together last week, and it is flying. It's doing so well. So it begs the question, do we start looking to it? I think we'll cover this a lot more when Tom comes back next week. But yeah, worth a mention. Anyway, without further ado, let's have a look at the teams of last week. So as you can see, Game Week 5 for me was not great. Chelsea just had an absolute mare against Manchester United. I mean, I loved it. But yeah, Sanchez, -3 points. Instant red card, 5 minutes in. Cucurella scored 0 points. Muniz, 2 for Crystal Palace. Virgil van Dijk with 4 with a little cheeky Defcon points. Semenyo again pops up with a little return of 5. Gakpo did nothing, 2 points. Bruno Fernandes stuck home the penalty at the end there and got 10 points for me, which was my standout player. Paqueta scored 1 point. Haaland, as we know, did what he did, scores 9 points. I captained João Pedro because I thought João Pedro and Chelsea were just going to have a bit of a field day with Manchester United, but we turned up. So he only scored me 4 points on the double captain, and Mateta, another return for me, was 6 points. And on the bench, Dubravka, 4, keeps on getting all those saves. Don't think I'm going to be playing him this week, but I'll come back to that. Senesi, 9 points off the bench. He's an absolute monster with the Defcon points and those clean sheets. Such a shame. Elliott, 1 point, and that's about it. So not the best for me. Again, so poor captain's choice. Poor Sanchez with a -3 and Cucurella with 0 points. And the rest, just unfortunate. Should have captained Haaland. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. Or Bruno Fernandes, but it was never going to happen. So yeah, not the best game week. But moving on, we'll have a quick look at Tom's team. Tom didn't do so well either, with only 41 points. He had Petrovic in goal for 6 points, Anderson 4, Virgil and Muniz the same, Gakpo the same, Semenyo the same, Xavi Simons only scored 1 point, Declan Rice only 3. He also captained João Pedro, and I know he was umming and ahhing. He was like, do I do it? Do I sting it on Haaland? He also captained João Pedro for just the 4 points. Haaland 9, as we've discussed, and he had Isak that came off the bench. Or did he start and then get subbed on? I think he came on, but yeah, only the 1 point. And again, his bench did absolutely nothing whatsoever. So both of us dropping spots. I think we both went down. I think I went down to a little red arrow, nothing too mad, still in like 4 million things on the screen for the YouTube viewers, and for the listeners, went down a little bit. Tom went down a little bit, not the best, but in actual fact, the whole game week was a bit. I mean, some people, anyone that scored like 60 points, I think the average was around 40 something. Anyone who scored around 60 points had a great week. But basically, if you didn't captain João Pedro, captained Haaland, captained anyone else, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, you did well. So I'm going to skip straight into Game Week 6 and what my changes and what I'm thinking. I've not pushed the button yet. But before we do, I just want to say, big thank you to everyone who's been getting involved on YouTube and on the pod. The viewership and the listeners, we're creeping up there. So make sure you smash that like button on YouTube, subscribe, hit the bell so you get all the notifications. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or any of the other streaming platforms, make sure that you turn on your notifications. Drop us a comment everywhere. Message us on X, on Blue Sky, on Instagram. Get involved. We love to hear from you each and every week. We just love it. So yeah, make sure you smash that up. But yes, right, Game Week 6. So let's have a quick look. So I have got 3 transfers that I haven't pushed the button yet, but I've got 3 in the bank, and I think I'm going to attack it a little bit. I was going to go all through All three changes. But what I've done is, as you can see, I'm not too sure why, but it looks like Sanchez has not been flagged to miss the game, because I think it was just a one-match ban, and I believe that he served that midweek. So I think Sanchez should be back in goal against Brighton, which is good, because I didn't want to have to play Dubravka against Man City. But what I've done so far, and I have, as I said, this is my thoughts. I haven't done it yet. I might wait until later. I've got plenty of money for the moves that I want to make. So I think I might take out Cucurella, because he's expensive. He's got 6.1. I've got a little rise out of him value-wise, and I think I just want to get rid of him, because I don't really want to have a lot of Chelsea assets going forward, because their fixtures kind of turn a little bit. So I've brought in Romero for Tottenham against Wolves this week. Or I'm thinking about it, and they've got some great fixtures coming up, and Thomas Frank has definitely got them together and playing some nice football. And I have also taken out Gakpo, because unfortunately Gakpo just seems to be not really hitting it. Like Liverpool in general are just, they're scraping it. But you look at the stats, you look at the other stats being like XG and like expected goals and how games people are performing, and Liverpool actually aren't performing all that well, but they are scraping their victories and just doing what you need to do. So I'm going to get rid of Gakpo, I think, and I'm either going to bring in, and you can see on the screen for those who are listening, I brought in Phil Foden, or penciled in Phil Foden against Burnley. It could go horribly wrong, and this is why I haven't pushed the button yet. It's because Pep Roulette, who knows? Haaland Haaland said just in his press conference this afternoon that Haaland was ready to go and fit and available for Burnley, but you just don't. I can't trust him. He just can't be trusted. But I think I'm either going to go for Phil Foden, because he's just looking back to his best, not his best, but he's got that love for football again. That's what Pep said again. So hopefully Foden, I know his minutes are a little bit of a risk, but I just feel like this could be his game to really like kick on. If not, and if we get any team leaks or early news, which we sometimes get with City, it will either be Foden or Reinders, baby Reindeers, who has just been a little bit more consistent with the minutes. And he's looking good and getting some good returns. So might take a chance on Foden, if not Reindeers, baby Reindeers. And then they're my only two transfers that I think I'm going to make, and I've still got one left in the bank if I don't burn all three. I think that's about it. And then captain is the big question, as we're saying. So with that team, if it was those two transfers, it's got to be Haaland against Burnley. He surely starts, and if he starts, do you throw the triple captain chip down on him? We've got two this year. Why don't we just push it? It's one of the best fixtures they're going to play at home against Burnley. But Burnley have looked, they turned up against Manchester United. Not difficult, I know you're all saying, but they don't look terrible. But they are statistically most shots against them. Dubravka's basically keeping them in it. You just think with Haaland's form at the moment and the way he's taking his goals, he's got to be licking his lips for this one. And I bet you he's playing his triple captain on himself. And the other fixtures, Liverpool have got Crystal Palace, so you don't really fancy any of those boys this week. Crystal Palace have looked really good. Semenyo against Leeds, but Leeds have looked really good. I just think that it's definitely going to be Haaland. It's just whether you do the whole thing. So let's just have a quick look at Tom's team. He has already pressed the button on his transfer. He's just made his one transfer this week, and he's taken out Muniz for Crystal Palace, and he has brought in Senesi Bournemouth against Leeds, and he's slotted him straight into his side, I believe. And he has put in, he's playing 4-3-3, Petrovic in goal, Anderson, Virgil, Pedro Porro and Senesi, Gakpo, Semenyo and Xavi Simons, João Pedro, Haaland and Isak. Nice team, simple stuff. One transfer in, one transfer out. Senesi's got that Defcon points for days, and Leeds away. Bournemouth look hard to break down. They've even though they got depleted over the summer, they seem to just be really, really playing well. And Semenyo is finding the back of the net. So yeah, simple stuff for Tom. I think that's a simple, nice, easy transfer. And on his bench, he's got Drewsbury Hall in his first sub. and Rice has been dropped down. So yeah, I get it. Against Newcastle, Arsenal, Newcastle still look good. So yeah, Tom's doing all right. I think we're both hanging in there, and the team's looking good going forward. But we'll probably talk future plans next week when he's back. One thing that I did want to just mention and touch on very briefly, and we will come back to this next week when Tom's back on the show. But the Defcon team that he put together last week did so well. 60 points. Yes, it had Haaland as captain. And had a very strong bench of Mateta 6, Bowen 9, Anderson 4. But all in all, 60 points. Senesi returned, Bruno Fernandes returned, Haaland obviously scored pretty heavily. So we're going to come back to this. But is this the death of the wing-back? And has the game changed? Do we need to start really taking that into consideration? But we'll see next week with game week 6 if it returns again. I think it might do. But yeah, so very excited. We've got a full game week this week. We've got Brentford versus Manchester United at 12:30, the early kickoff. They've got Chelsea, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Leeds versus Bournemouth, Man City versus Burnley, Nottingham Forest versus Sunderland, Spurs versus Wolves on Saturday and Sunday. The first game is Aston Villa versus Fulham, and then the big one, Newcastle versus Arsenal, 4:30. And then we have a Monday night fixture, which I always love, of Everton versus West Ham at 8 o'clock. So game week deadline is 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Don't miss it. Make sure that you join our mini league. The mini league code is NCJLGG. It's on the screen for YouTube. And for the listeners who are on the podcast, that's NCJLGG. So yeah, guys, that's the end of the show. Nice and short, sharp show this week, just by me riding solo. Tom will be back next week, where we'll have a nice full show with Willy Wonders, 20 questions, and the whole shebang. Good luck, everyone, for game week 6. I think I need it. I need to climb those ranks. Make sure you smash that like and also follow us everywhere. And then we'll see you next week. And that's a wrap. Hit the music.